We'll see where we go with this. Nat, why are you getting all excited over there right now?
I'm excited for this clip.
Okay. Because it's actually someone talking about marriage. You don't hear this gentleman talk too much about marriage. You hear him talk about masculinity. You hear him talk about role of a man. You talk about the Matrix. You hear him talk about all sorts of things that gets millions of views, billions of eyeballs, everything like that. And of course, I'm talking about the great Andrew Tate. But he recently did an interview with Candice Owens, and she was asking him about marriage. And here's what he had to say.
Ready?
Do you want to be married?
Good question.
I heard that's the lover boy tactic. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but...
And that's an interesting question, because younger me would say no. Absolutely not. And the reason younger me would say no is because I'd come up with all the arguments that there's no legal advantage really, and the woman can wreck you, and you can lose all of your things, etc. But as I get older, maybe I'm getting a bit softer. Maybe I do think sometimes you need to make a decision based purely on love and have the faith of love and faith in your love enough to say, I don't care what the government's going to do about this because I truly believe in us and I think we're going to make it. So would I get married? Perhaps some point, yes, in the future I might get married. Yeah, I'm not against marriage like I used to be. I used to be super against it, and I think that's because I grew up in an environment where everybody was divorced. But now I think if I met the right woman, perhaps, yes.
All right, very interesting conversation. Nat's freaking out over there, bro. We got a camera on Nat.
Yes,
I don't know. What are you freaking out about? Just because the Andrew Tate talked about love and marriage, or?
Yeah, I think, especially with this whole red pill space growing the way it has, I think that was really capitalized. Like, marriage is no beneficial to men. There's no benefit of getting married. Don't do it. Don't allow the government, so on and so forth. And I understand that argument. I understand that perspective. But there's a lot of value that comes within marriage. Yes, you're going to have a lot of risks, but anything that is required where you're bringing people on board and you're expanding your team, aka your kids, it's going to be a risk anyway. So to see someone who was so on the other side of marriage and even came up with arguments why, and it even had somewhat truth to it, to him changing his perspective to, hey, I see value in that. I know you even brought up conversations that, you may find happiness right now while you're in the club having fun and you're young and so on and so forth. But once you start having kids, there's something about kids. They bring a sense of joy. They bring a sense of innocence. And it's a different sense of happiness. And I think it's just a matter of when you come to that point in your life where you're like, hey, I'm tired of the clubs. I'm tired of this. I'm looking for a different level of happiness. So I love to see someone like Tate, express that and change his perspective based on some of the experiences he's been through.
Nat, are you saying that you're sick and tired of going to the clubs and you're looking for love and marriage and kids?
I definitely want to get married and have kids.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
All right, gentlemen, you can find her on Valuetainment. She's doing that. Well, here's what I'll say, and then I'm going to go down the line here in order and say what you want to add to about what it's like wanting to be married, wanting to have kids. If you're not there yet, what you want. If you are there, give us the good, the bad, the ugly, to let the people know, and then we'll wrap up. So here's what I do know. I was briefly married when I was much younger and dumber, and I met her in a club, and that's how the life works. Shout out to Liv, by the way. But there's no doubt, what the Elon Musk says about work-life balance is that Bill Maher asked him, can you be happy just being obsessed with work? He goes, I think you can be 50% happy, but the other 50% comes with having love in your life and having a meaningful relationship. Now, I'm not fully convinced that I'm going to get married via the government this time and be married to a woman via the government, but I will definitely be with a woman, have a bunch of babies, take care, she'll be the mother, I'll be the father. None of us are going to be birthing people. She'll just be a mom. But I look forward to playing that role, and I think I'm going to be a great dad, and I would love to have an amazing woman by my side. Absent of any government involvement. So I look forward to that. It's amazing to see what Tate had said about that. So let's go. Lovely ladies. Little misfit over here. Mel's in the house. What are you looking forward to when it comes to marriage, partnership, kids? Give us your answer.
So I'm on two sides of the fence. I definitely believe in partnership because I believe that two people should come together and bring a value. Now, it's not just financially. It's more of like the love. The unconditional love, the support, the understanding, right? So I do believe in marriage. I do believe in kids. I do have an old-fashioned mindset. And I don't know if some of the past experiences I've been through, maybe that's what's put me in the entrepreneur space to kind of be that alpha female, but I'm also submissive with the right male, right? And I think that it becomes a balance. And I do believe, let's say, you know, someone comes into the relationship trying to provide and be that husband and something happens to them financially, I should be able to be in a place where I can take his back. And I don't know if a lot of people agree with that, but I do believe that I should have my husband's back in the relationship. But I do believe in the old-fashioned style, marriage, children, building a family, and sharing that, because what is the purpose of all this wealth if you can't share and build and have a better life for your family? So
what age do you see yourself doing that by?
Whenever it's supposed to happen. I don't know. But I don't know.
Did you give yourself like a
I did not do
timeline?
that. I've
Okay.
been through serious relationships in the past where there was close to marriage and it didn't happen. I also intimidate a lot of men because I've always been very strong, very independent. So maybe that's something I do have to work on, but I'm not going to change who I am. I think someone should meet me there.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I'm very intimidated right now.
Are
It's
you?
tough.
No,
Yeah, very
don't be. I promise.
No, I'm good.
So no, I just feel that, you know, if it comes, when it comes, it will come at the right time, and that person will elevate me to be a better version of myself, and we'll come together. But if it doesn't happen, maybe it's not in the cards for me, but I'm not pressing for it.
Got it. How about you, Amber? You're
Push
recently
it.
engaged.
Yes. So,
Congratulations.
thank you.
When you were a young girl, did you dream of a white wedding and a big event and all that and a big
For
rock on your hand?
So,
So it's happening.
yes, it's happening, but I think women stress so much and try to put time limits on everything. So I would have thought I would have been married and had kids by the time I was 30. So when I hit 30, I was freaking out. Like, oh my gosh,
our
when is
work.
it going to happen?
Yeah.
I want to, you know, be
Thank
married.
you.
I've worked on myself. You know, when is this going to happen? I think whatever you believe in, but timing is key. And I think that it's really a partnership. Actually, I just posted something about partnership, and you really do both need to be 100% or it's not going to work, because there was a time when my fiance and I were not 100% and it didn't work, and then we both dated different people, and then once we were 100 we like came back together.
Oh, really?
So I
it's
think
like the remix version,
divine timing.
the better remix version.
Yeah. So
Respect.
yeah, I'm excited for my future and children.
Have you set a date yet?
No, I think people I was very
All right,
overwhelmed.
relax. I'm not trying to make a move. I just
No, people ask it like when it happens. So
Yeah.
when's the date? I'm like, you're supposed to know that already.
Already?
It was very
I don't
stressful
know.
in the
I don't know
beginning.
how this works. I went to the courthouse. Wham bam. Thank you. I'm married. All right, cool. Here's a question that I would say: how many women are on the? There's 8 billion people on the planet. So that's about 4 billion women. Here's a question: 4 billion women want to know, Justin Waller. Where do you see yourself getting married, settling down, not being a gunslinger cowboy? What's your deal?
So, first of all, I'm not surprised to hear Andrew say that at all. I think our group is very misunderstood. I believe in love completely. Now, I do believe love is a bit more dark than people that watch Disney movies believe. So, completely down with love, completely down with family, taking care of a woman, having a partnership or whatever. I get my relationship partnership stuff mixed up with you. I don't want to misspeak. But
Yeah.
I believe in love completely. I think it's a real thing. I think that anybody that says that you can't fall in love with a woman is completely transactional is probably misled. And I think that family is a wonderful thing, and I think that being a father is a wonderful thing. So in no way, shape, or form do I feel like love is not in the cards for me, or not already in the cards for me, or could be in the cards for me, or what have you. I think that's just a big misunderstanding that people have about our group and our friends. That's
Well,
it.
let me ask you. So we had Myron from Fresh and Fit multiple times. That's a good buddy of yours. You've been on a show a
Yeah, I
million
love Myron.
times.
Yeah.
We all love Myron. We respect Myron. You know, he said that he's never been in love, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of shocking. He's like, never been in love. What does that mean? He's like, well, you know, just so I don't even know. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he said something like he doesn't want to be in love with a woman. He can have love for a woman, but not in love with the woman. You know, maybe it's like a different nuance of words. Do you remember him saying this or anything like this?
Yeah, I didn't see him say it, but
Yeah.
I hate to hear it. Because
Yeah.
I do think love is real completely. I do think
Yeah.
it's possible for you to be in a relationship with a woman, even if you're going to be mentally stronger than her, that she could hurt you.
Yeah.
I think that's a real thing completely. And I think when you get there and you can get close to somebody and your best friends, you happen to have really good sex and you happen to get along on certain subjects, you happen to fit correctly in the gender roles, which I still believe are true and there, then there's nothing wrong with it at all. Would I bring the state into it? No, I wouldn't. Would I protect myself? Absolutely. I took too long building this thing. There's no fucking way.
No
but
doubt.
love itself, children, the thing that makes the world go around, absolutely, 100%.
So here's what I would say to that. There's a difference between protecting your heart and protecting your assets. So like, I would argue the best feeling in the world is that giddy butterfly. Oh my God, did she text me? Like all that, guys and girls, we both have it, that love feeling in your stomach of just like complete freedom, abandonment. I don't know what's going on. Go for it, guys. But that doesn't mean that you should just open up your bank account, not get a prenup, spend all your money. So like emotionally, let it rip. Financially, you know, save that money. That's what message. Sosnick 2024. Young lady, you're 18. Do not get married anytime soon unless you're going to follow the Martinez model. What's your vision of life, marriage, kids, all that fun stuff?
Well, to start off, I actually do agree with the perspective of Andrew Tate. I think that social media is changing the way that he says things, and of course, like he said, there's a communication boundary with the way that social media is depicting everything. Like they always trying to make him look like the bad guy, or it's the way that social media shows things. It always goes by audience. So there's always a clip that they show to specifically men and a clip that they show specifically to women. So that's what causes the problem with social media. I do believe that marriage is a partnership, like she said. I think that we all bring something to the table. So if we have, you know, a king and a queen combined, you have that powerhouse. So I think that being able to bring the femininity and being able to bring the masculinity as a whole, that's something that one man and a woman and a man combined, you're going to know that the king and queen are always going to have each other's back, and they're going to have the support to be able to be like, hey, I have your back. So that power that they have as a relationship is the most powerful thing that you can have. So
I
when
can't
it comes
believe you're
to
18.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. What's
so
that?
the most
You got
well,
Mel over here
I
being
was
like, what am
raised
I doing
well,
with
I
my
guess you
life?
could say. But the most powerful thing that it is marriage is that I don't believe that you can quickly fall in love instantly. I think it's a growth process. You know, you learn to grow. I think when it comes to partnership, at first you may probably be like, okay, we have our own ideas. Let's start with communication first. And then over time you learn to love and appreciate, you know, the things that maybe you didn't like at first. You know, maybe you just didn't like the way he laughed, but you know, you learn to grow and you accept the things, and that's what makes it more powerful.
Non-negotiables. If a girl's a snorer, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm out. I left the girl's place in the middle of the night. You snore too much. Like, where'd you go? It's not gonna work. Snuffleupagus. Let me go to Yusta, and then I'm gonna go to the 4 who are married or have been married last. Okay. So go ahead. What would you like to add to this?
I also agree with Andrew Tate's perspective, and honestly, I'm a little shook that that's his take, because at least for the content that I've seen, like, it portrays a very different side of, you know, what
It's
he
almost like
normally
a
says.
Brett Cooper situation with Justin Waller.
Yeah.
You know, you thought
Yeah,
one thing, and by the
exactly.
end, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, marriage is a beautiful thing, and I think that, you know, raising a family and being a parent is one of the most important jobs to have, because, you know, you're raising the next generation, which is super important. I definitely am not in a rush to get married. I don't think there's a time limit for me personally. And like she said before, is like, if that's not in my cards, if that doesn't happen for me, I don't think I would be pressed about it or upset.
But you're also
or-
25.
Correct. I mean,
But we all know that when you're 35, 40, from what I hear, women tend to...
Freak out.
Okay. Well, just put that in the back of your mind.
I'm
You don't
aware.
want to be one of those women who are lovely and beautiful. Next thing you know, you're 35 and you're looking in the mirror and you're reevaluating your life and you're
Freaking out.
all right. So we just don't want that for you.
I mean, I'm completely fulfilled by myself. Of course, having a partner
Amber,
would be the best thing
respect to
ever,
you.
but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't
Partner
happen.
right there.
And then
Partnership.
for kids, I don't necessarily know. I've never had the desire to have kids, but I think that's also because, like, I grew up with a mom that struggled a lot, and like seeing how she, you know, had a lot of trouble raising kids, it kind of, you know, put a bad taste in my mouth. So I think I would need a couple of requirements met before I would even consider having kids.
There you go. Okay. So here's what I want to do. The 4 who are currently married or have been married, with due respect, here's how I wanted to position this, because I actually ask all my married friends this. This is like my question. I'm like, what's up? You married? All right, cool. You ready? Give me the good, the bad, and the ugly of marriage. Okay? Ladies first.
Oh, gosh.
Clarissa,
The
you
good.
got kids watching, you got your husband watching, but we also want to be honest.
The good.
So give me the good, the bad, the ugly.
The good. You have a best friend for life. Like, this is my person. Leo's my go-to person. My good, my bad. Like, I've had a great day, I share it with him. I've had a shit day, I share it with him. There's nothing I can't say that I'll feel judged. So he's seen me kind of at my best and has cheered for me. And he's also seen me at my absolute worst and cheered for me. So to have somebody that will do that for you is so freeing. So if I had to pick one thing that's the best, that would probably be it. The worst.
The bad. I mean,
Bad.
you said the worst. By the way, you see these girls that's like, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. I'm like, this is your worst? Yeah, I don't even want to see your best. This is rough out here. Anyway, just the bad part.
I'm going to sound really corny, but I can't think of I'm sure they're bad things.
No, you can't think of one bad thing?
Well, I mean, you're two different people. And so,
Okay.
like, there's a lot of bad that goes from being an individual person to finding a shared vision.
How about his salsa dancing? It needs work?
No, he's great.
He's a great salsa dancer, I
Yeah.
know. All right, give me the ugly part of marriage that nobody wants to talk about.
Can you come back to me? I
You
need
just
a
have
little
this
more
like
time.
perfect life. Okay, we'll come back
I don't
to you.
have a perfect life.
Jose, you're married, no kids. How long have you been married?
2 years now, but we've been
Okay, you've been
together
married forever.
Yeah.
Okay. So give us the good, the bad, the ugly of being together since high school.
Well, I'd say, my friends kind of joke and say, like, I don't come off as a very romantic guy. And like, dude, do you even like her type of thing? But it's not because of that. I've just always been an extremely focused and driven individual. And kind of like Clarissa said early on, it was just kind of understood kind of how we were as people. Obviously, we're really young, but she saw that in me. And I think that's always been understood. And definitely, I'd say the good, obviously, is just the unbelievable amount of belief and support she's provided me throughout, because we've seen a lot of our lives, as kids up until this point as adults now. So, like Will was saying, she was there to support you. And sometimes it's obviously you got to believe in yourself, but just to have someone there that they're going to ride this thing out with you and get you through some of those tough times, for me, has been very helpful. As far as bad, we all go through challenges in our lives, businesses, careers. For her, she was going through school, and it took her a little bit longer than we were both hoping for, and there were some setbacks there, and that was a test for us. And I'm incredibly proud of her. She was able to get it done, and she's a nurse, and she loves what she does, and she just gets fulfillment out of it, and she's the perfect type of person for that. So I will say, though, there are those challenges where it tests you. And as far as the ugly goes, I mean, definitely you see each other at your worst. You absolutely see each other at your worst.
Yeah.
And you have to have those valleys to know the peaks, obviously. But one thing I do appreciate about her is when she sees me at my worst, which isn't often, but it happens because I'm a human being. She always asks me the question, do you want support or do you want solutions? And it's usually support, honestly. But I really appreciate that.
You got a gnat
I
approval
like
over
that.
there. I appreciate
that's
that.
good. Sometimes you need to
Will,
know
what you
what
got,
you're
buddy?
asking. Nice.
You got a good one, Jose.
Thanks,
you got a
man.
good one, man. The good is having two people focused on one goal, one mission. That doesn't just have to be financial. It could be family. The great conversations that we can have, questioning, what comes after this life, the deeper stuff that she and I like to talk about, like connecting on that kind of level. I would say the bad is the mirror that it showed me of who I am, like all the shit that I got to fix.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but in the moment, you don't like seeing, like, okay, man, we got some stuff we got
Don't
to
you
work
fix
on.
those boots, buddy. You stay those boots. I don't care if she wants you to fix those things.
Yeah, the boots are staying on, baby.
All right, that's my guy.
And so, like, seeing the mirror.
Even in the bedroom.
You want to know?
Adam.
You want the truth?
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell you here. Just, onlyfans.com. You can. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. And I would say the ugly is learning how to fight. She is stubborn as a mule, and I am hard-headed, and that's a dangerous combination. It's a great combination in business because nothing stops us. But we had to learn how to fight and then reconcile in a healthy way.
It's like when an unstoppable force and an immovable object come together. That's you guys with your boots on in the bedroom. Somebody rockin', knockin' the boots. Love it.
H-Town. Shout out to H-Town.
Oh, respect. A lot of music references going on today. Okay, Clarissa, I'll come back to you and then I'll go to Priscilla. There's nothing ugly about marriage of 20-something years?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that you overcome, so I'm sorry if it's not fresh in my mind.
You know what? I'm going to help you out. The diapers and the boogers. That's the ugly situation.
That was the ugly,
no, I get
honestly.
it.
But that was 16 years ago.
Okay. So if you like that clip, click right here to watch another. Or if you want to watch the entire SOSCAST, click right here.